2, 1.
Hey there, this is Michael Mershad from Ultimate Leadership Martial Arts, and this is part 2 of our instructor series that we're doing this year. The first series, the one we did last month, was on leadership, and I got a lot of great comments on that, so I enjoy hitting this one today, and hopefully hearing from some of you again on this, okay? So this series is specifically for instructors and academy owners. If you're a student, if you're a martial artist, then you're more than welcome to listen. A lot of this does apply to you, and I think it is important for you to see the inside of what we're trying to accomplish at our schools so that you're a part of that, okay? So that you can see the vision that we see as your martial arts educators, and you can kind of see the direction that our academies are trying to take you, okay? So, this series we're going to talk about the word success and talk about success a little bit. And of course, success, like leadership, everyone has their different opinions of what success is. But this is my video, so I'm going to give you my opinions, all right? So we're going to hit three-prong approach here, okay? The first part is your personal success. The second one is the success of your academy, and the third is your success of your individual students. Now, of course, they all tie together, and I did not necessarily list them in order of importance, okay? But your personal success is important, okay? So if you're walking around and your school is just amazing, just got students coming out one side and out the other, I mean, just a great, great school, or whether your school is new and growing, or if it's been through some hard times and you're trying to grow back, you know, I've listened to people like Zig Ziglar and other motivational speakers since I was 15, 16 years old, and they'll all say the same thing. You want to dress for success, dress for where you want to go, look how you want to look, you know, where your direction is, okay? And so no matter how many students you had, no matter how many people are in your building, that doesn't change the fact that you want to work your way up and you want to make sure you look successful, okay? That doesn't mean if you can't afford it, go buy a Mercedes anyway so you can look successful. That's not what it means. But to a point, you have options in cars, you have options in clothing, you have options in homes, you have options in several things, and sometimes it is important to choose the one that is most successful, okay? You know, I don't drive the best car in the world, but I love my Volvo S60, and it zips around pretty nice. You know, and I could have had an option to get that. I could have gotten a Mustang, okay? When you look at the two, you know, which one's a little more grown up, which one's a little bit more, you know, successful, I guess, and a lot of you guys are shaking your head thinking the Mustang, but, you know, what we want to make sure we understand is that when our clients see us in a car, a lot of us think that they're thinking, man, he makes way too much money if he's driving that nice car. And so what do? We buy the lower option, okay? We buy the one that's not as pretentious maybe, or not as fancy, all right? And the danger in that is what do we say we teach? We teach your child success. We teach your child how to be, you know, successful and how to do this and that, be a leader. Yeah, we're driving a car that, you know, it sounds like it's on its last limb, it's falling apart. We want to understand that we can't be afraid of success, okay? We can't be afraid to drive a nice car. We can't be afraid to live in a nice home. We can't be afraid to dress in nice clothes. Because once that happens, is anybody going to look at you and say, oh yeah, you're going to teach my kids success? No, they're not. And so it's really important that we understand that success is partly what you look like from the outside looking in. And then of course from the inside out, success is also important as well, and that's coming up. But when it comes to success, it is important that we dress the way we want to dress, working our way up. You know, people make fun of me sometimes because I'll take a shower in the morning, I'll go to the gym and work out, and then I'll come home and take another shower. And, you know, why don't you just go to the gym, work out, then take a shower? And the reason is because if I walk in and I see a client or a potential client, or, you know, people who know me in my community, you know, I want to look well groomed all the time. Okay, even if I'm sweating on a treadmill, at least it's clean sweat. Okay, and you know, that's the concept. You want to be prepared at all times, because you never know when someone's going to see you and be like, that's that karate guy. Ooh, he's stinking. Okay, that's not what you want. And so, yeah, they're probably at the gym stinking too, but that's not the point. Okay. So you want to be conscious of that, okay? The way you groom yourself, the way you do your hair, the way you do your clothes. Now everybody's looking at my hair, aren't you? But the point is, you want to make sure that you look the way that other people look at you and say, man, he could teach my kid success. She could teach my child how to be a success in life. None of my clients ever walk in and say, you know, Master Mershad, I want you to teach my child how to be successful in life, how to have a great career one day, and how to be a loving husband or wife. Can you teach them that? They never do that. What they do say is, you know, I want my child to be more confident. I want my child to be more active. My child needs to have more sense of direction. My child needs more work ethic, okay? All those things put together tell me, Mr. Mershad, teach my child how to be successful, all right? And so how do we do that? Well, we do that by example, all right? So the first part that I said, looking successful. The other thing is, what do successful people do? They can, well, for the most part, communicate, all right? So you want to be able to communicate with success, all right? Successful person's not going to, hopefully, true success in what we see, look down or talk down to people, all right? We're in the martial arts world. A lot of you trained when I trained and before I trained, and man, it was hard. It was not lift you up, pump you up. It was knock you down, and if you get back up, knock you down again, and keep knocking you down until you get it, but you keep getting up, and that's why you're still here, all right? And that's how they taught success back then, is if you get up after that many beatdowns, then you're going to be successful in this. And yeah, that worked back then. You can try it if you want to, but these days that type of success is not going to work. So pumping people up. Talk to people, lift them up, pull them up, because the more you push people down, the less they're going to look at you and want to be like you or do what you do. All right, so that leads me to your academy success. Your academy is only as strong as its instructor team. And so your instructor team has to be willing to see the vision that you see and to be successful like you see success, all right? And so as you're training your instructor team, it is so important that they see that vision of being well-groomed, their uniforms looking sharp, them having good posture and the way they communicate and their body language when they're teaching. All of that stuff, again, points to the students and says, here's where you're going to be if you keep working hard, okay? And so if they look at your instructor team and they look like a ragtag bunch of thugs, my parents anyways, they're not going to look at those type of people and say, that's good, okay? They're going to say, I think we're going to try somewhere else, okay? And so what we want is we want our instructor team to be the end result, okay? And so you look at your students, you look at your instructors, you see this is who you are, but this is where you're going, okay? So that's really important to stress that, okay? And again, I don't want my instructors to drive a car they can't afford. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want them to go out and buy the Mercedes that they can't afford just to look successful. But I do want them to dress in a way, even when they go to the movie theater, or when they go to the mall, or when they go to the gym, or when they go out on a hot date, whatever it is, I want them to appear to be looking nice and looking sharp, so that any time that one of my clients sees one of my instructor team out somewhere, they say, man, look at him, okay? Look, there's your instructor, instead of, ooh, let's shield your eyes, okay? And so we want to make sure that we epitomize success out there as well. Success in our academies, again, comes down to that instructor team, and this is something Roland Osborne said in one of his training videos. It's totally true, is you can look at an academy with amazing curriculum, but a bad instructor team, and that school will inevitably fail, okay? But you look at a school with even decent curriculum, okay, and I think that our school has great curriculum, of course, but you look at a school that has decent curriculum, but a great, motivated, passionate instructor team, and there's nowhere else they can go but up, okay? There's nowhere else they can go but to positive places, and, we want to make sure we understand that. And so with my instructor team, you guys are watching, that's what we want. We want that passion to come out. We want that high energy, positive, praise, all that stuff to come out in our teaching and our everyday communication with our clients and our students. And so, think about that. Look at your school or look at yourself and say, am I passionate about this? Would my students say that I'm passionate about what I do for a living? Would my students say I'm passionate when I teach a class that maybe I'm too tired to teach that day? Would my students say I'm passionate when they see me at the mall and I give them a high five and say, how you doing? All right. We want to make sure we show that at all times. We're always on stage, okay? If you're in a community and you're the martial arts educator in that community, people know who you are, and even if you don't know them, they'll see you and they'll be like, oh, there's Mr. Mershad, there's Mr. Smith. They know who you are, and so we want to make sure we demonstrate to them that we care about ourselves and we care about you. All right, student success. Again, we lead by example. And so if we are giving people high fives and doing that, hopefully they're going to start doing that. Now, is that success? No, but it's the beginning of it for them, okay? We're laying the foundation in our students' brains about what success is, what successful people do. So hopefully, whatever career they go into, that's how they're going to treat people, and that's what's going to lift them up to the top, okay? Small things make a difference. Small things make a difference. You know, there's a lot of things that you say in your classes, and apparently your students go home and they listen to you all the time, and so they start saying those same things. Right? Things are sinking in. You know, a number of years ago, you know, I never used to use the word right when I was teaching, so I'd say affirmative, you know, and so instead of right, because they'd get confused left and right, they would say, is this correct? I'd say, you know, affirmative, and so it was just kind of thing I did every once in a while just for fun. It wasn't something, you know, I did consciously even, it was just, you know, I was just being funny with it, but a lot of my students would start going home and say affirmative, and so, you know, the parents would say, you know, it's just so funny to hear my 6-year-old saying the word affirmative, but, you know, so the things we say, they do sink in, they do get into our students' brains, whether it's a child or an adult, and we want to understand that. Success, success, success. Success is not just money, okay? If you truly love what you do for a living and you truly do a great job at it, that'll come, okay? But success is the way you are in life. You see so many people that are what we would consider financially successful, and they have so much money, but they're miserable. They're surrounded by no one, okay? And that's success in some people's eyes, I guess, but not in mine, and hopefully not in yours. If you're a student at one of our academies, or if you're a student at my academy here, then you want to understand that our goal is not to just bring in a bunch of people so we can bring in a bunch of money. Our goal is to bring in a bunch of people so that we can change this world, so we can change our communities. And I truly believe that, you know, changing our world one black belt at a time is a great slogan to say, but truly, if I can send my students to school with better bully tactics, with better ways of communicating with people and teachers, looking into their teachers' eyes, one day when they have a job, they're looking into their boss's eyes, one day they're the boss looking into their employees' eyes, okay? And so that's the structure, and that's what we teach. And hey, along the way, if some of those guys say, Master Mershad, I want to be an ultimate leadership instructor, or I want to own an ultimate leadership martial arts academy, then that's my success working right there, okay? So I enjoyed going through this with you guys today, and if you have any questions, again, my email address is our email address here is tkdohio@woh.rr.com. Our website is www.tkd-ohio.com. All right, thanks, and I enjoyed going through this with you. See you next month.